Hello peeps, Mr. ATC again, back to you and for another idea of housing. And remember, I showed you a few days ago some pretty nice benches created only with pallet wood. So today, I'm gonna show you how to create another one, a little bit larger, so two people can take a seat on it. And for this, we are going to use those 3 wooden planks. Alright, let's take a look. Alright, so in order to start cutting everything, I will start with 1 wooden board in order to create the legs. The board here is measuring 3 meters long. For this project you will need a ruler, some long screws, your miter saw, then in order to screw you will need your drill machine. Alright, let's start to work on this board. I will first need 1 board to cut at 1.20 meters. Keep in mind that when you are making this cut, you will need to use an appropriate angle. But of course I will put a little bit more details for you in the 3D plan. So when we are done, here we are with the wooden board cut with the appropriate size. Now it's time to go and cut the other side that are supposed to be attached to it. And here we're gonna repeat the same process again to use an appropriate angle in order to attach it to the main board. So we will move again to the miter saw. And note that for this design, we will need to cut around 3 of this board, measuring the same size of course. Now that we have the 3 boards cut, it's time to attach them to the main frame. And as I told you at the beginning, we're gonna use here some long screws. And note that I will be adding 3 screws on each side. We will first start on the left side to move after that on the right side. In order to attach the middle one, I will be placing everything to the ground and screwing after that. Then to make sure that the frame is stable, I will be cutting another board at 1.20 meters to attach this time at the bottom of the frame. Then here we are with one part, the bottom one, done. Alright, so now it's time to add a little bit more finish to this. I'm gonna first start with my router in order to round up a little bit the edges. Then doing the same thing on the other side as well, but this part is the seating area. When I'm done working with the router, I will be placing the entire frame to the ground in order to apply my favorite wood burning method, the sushugiban. And note that I will be doing it on the outside, but also on the inside. Then we're gonna go back to the working table in order to clean up a little bit the sand and the surface. to move after that to some painting. First, I'm gonna be covering all the inside and part of the outside with some transparent lacquer. Then I will be covering each side, the left one and the right one, with a green paint. Alright, et voila, here we are, done with the bottom part. Now let's move and finish the design. Here, with the last piece of wood, I will be cutting them in order to create the side and also the back of the seat. And I'm gonna be cutting at 1 meter for the legs and around 1 meter 30 for the back side. And as you can see, all the cuts are being made with my miter saw. So if you are planning on doing the same thing, I would advise you to use a miter saw because those wooden boards are very strong. Okay, so now that we have those two ready, let's move on and place the back side in order to take the appropriate measurements. Then when this is done, it's time to move back to my miter saw in order to make the cut. Then to attach to the other board that I showed you earlier, I'm gonna start by pre-drilling some holes, then adding some screws, the long one, as before, and start attaching. In order to make sure that I have a straight back side here, I will be cutting part of the side of the wooden board, the one that are supposed to be on the side of course, then attaching the back side to this cut. Alright, now that the second piece and last one is ready, let's go and attach it to the bottom side. And as you can see, it looks a little bit more like a seating structure. Of course, a simple one to create. Then I'm adding the screws on each side, and here we are. Testing it out in order to see if everything is okay. Now I've decided to round up a little bit the back of the seating area because it was a little bit too straight in my opinion. After that, sanding a little bit all around to apply at the end a white paint all over the rest of the wood. And at the end, this is giving us a pretty nice design in order to sit and relax with your partner in the garden. Alright guys, so I hope that you like this design. It's a very simple one that you can create only using a few boards. That was again Mr. ATC for another idea of housing, and I will see you next time.